Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Red Room, where we discuss everything Liverpool related: transfer news, team news, injuries, all the gossip, all the problems. Why haven't we signed anyone? The window is about to shut. Panic stations and last minute winners from 16-year-olds. Wow, Liverpool Football Club. You know what, Lou? I done my post-match reaction, and it was so different from how I was feeling literally 3 minutes before I done the post-match reaction. So 3 minutes before I done the post-match reaction, I actually jumped up and down, both fists pumping, and celebrated like I haven't celebrated a goal. I'm struggling to remember the last time I celebrated a goal with such madness. Enthusiasm. Nunes is probably
Yeah.
Nunes, Brentford. You know that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but this club does it to us, doesn't it? It just is there any club? Is there any other club that puts you through the mill like Liverpool Football Club?
No, man. You can think of 10 examples off the top of your head. Like it, I
Yeah,
can't do it all season. I'm not going to lie. I can't be acting this for it's been 2 matches and already my blood pressure's through the roof. So no more of it. Once in a season is fine by me. That'll do me. But honestly, there is no better club. It's just in terms of pure entertainment. It doesn't matter if we're shit. Doesn't matter if we're great. Doesn't matter if who we're playing. We will always find these moments to really just steal the show. The story and the narrative should have been Liverpool got battered at St. James's Park, even by 10 men Newcastle, no Alexander Isak. And instead, we've gone there and picked up 3 points at a time where, let's be honest, we really didn't deserve to. So truly, there's a reason we are the greatest club in England and one of the greatest clubs in the world, because no one gives you moments like that quite like us.
people as you come in slowly into the chat, welcome. You're all very, very welcome to another episode of the Red Room. Good evening, guys. Jamie says YouTube user says hi, guys from Canada. Oh, I love your beard. Oh, I love your cut. Oh, you look a bit like me. Oh, okay, interesting. That was Mo. I'll come to Welsh Mo first. That was so close to being, I'd say, disaster, to be honest with you. 2-0 up against 10 men. Football's mad. Like within a matter of minutes, it was utter embarrassment, maybe. Like Lewis says, like losing to 10 men without Isak as well and all the drama around it, to absolute elation and delirium. Like it's mad, isn't it?
It was a roller coaster and just a standard Liverpool Newcastle game. There's a big argument to have in the Premier League era now. I'm talking about that Liverpool Newcastle, vice versa, is the most entertaining game fixture. Full stop.
I don't think there's a competition. People let us know in the chat. I don't know if Scousemo or Lou thinks. Is there any other more entertaining fixture?
If you go back
Tottenham's a good one as well.
Yeah, but I think we're up there. It's got to be up there in the top 3, if not the top. Because if you go back, even the Stan Collymore, 4-3 winner we were talking earlier, just every game has just got everything on it. And that game had pretty much everything. It was, we got to that dreaded 2-0 scoreline because it puts a lot of complacency in, that 2-0. But they outplayed us. We played a get out of jail card. We did really early doors. And I'm happy for it, and I'm elated, and I was screaming a house down. My next door neighbours the next day were looking at me funny, going, what? Honest to God, I went outside and they were looking at me and thinking I've murdered someone. But it had everything. Honest to God, it had everything. And yeah, wicked 3 points, I reckon.
Scousemo, feelings in those 2 minutes. Could you believe it that we've let a 2-goal slip? I will get into it all, but I'm talking about from the feelings point of view at this stage. Like, mad, isn't it? It's absolutely insane how we do it again and again and again.
It's honestly, it's just written in our DNA, I think, because it constantly happens. It always happens. You can never count us out, no matter how bad we play. If the game's still going, there's a chance that we'll score a goal and we'll score a winner from the most unlikeliest person. Last week it was Chiesa. And we were saying, why is he still here? And then now it's a 16-year-old. And it's just, it's breathtaking. It's unbelievable. What a football club to support. But I completely agree with Lou. I can't have 38 games of that this season. It's not good for heart rate. I can't do it. Because wow, that was intense. That 90 minutes, as you mentioned, there, Grizz, like when we went 2-0 up, I was like, we don't deserve this at all. Even when we was 2-0 up, I was like, damn, how did we get here? And then when they got back into it, I know we're going to get into more detail. Part of me was thinking they deserve this. I can't even lie. Like they played so well. And the fact that we've gone in the last minute and robbed the game when it didn't even look remotely likely that we would. It's just the only time we string some passes together in the 99th minute. It's just this football club, man.
Oh, it's bonkers, man. It's bonkers. Another thing that's absolutely, we're going to get into it is this fella, Mustafa Hamza, has sent 3 messages in the opening 5 minutes. Same thing. Mustafa, I'm a very rational, nice, level-headed guy. If you continue to ask the same question every week, every tweet, because I'm going to call you out. You tweet me about 20 times a week asking the same thing. Yeah, literally, you're going to have to think of something else to ask and talk about in the next few days. So just shut your mouth. Right? I'm sorry, I'm going to be rude, and just wait for the club to either announce or not announce, and you'll find out where they are. Who the F knows where Isak and Guehi are? Like, why are you asking a bunch of guys on YouTube? Why are you asking a bunch of guys on YouTube? Where is Isak and Guehi? Like, seriously, I don't know how old you are. He might be a kid, and I might look like an idiot.
It could be like some 8-year-old, and you're just giving them shit.
Actually, I take it all back. If you are a child and you're under 16, I take it all back. Mustafa, nobody knows where Isak and Guehi are. We'll find out in a few days. So thank you for the messages, Mustafa. And if you're an adult, fucking grow up. Anyway, lads, in all fairness, Newcastle had 3 shots on goal. Lumping balls up to Burn was hardly a great game. I agree. I know you lot guys are saying he had everything. I think it was a great game of football, Lou. I genuinely think that was the game plan from Newcastle. In fact, it's a very obvious game plan, and they always tend to play against us. And a lot of teams tend to think that we have a soft underbelly. Is there a case of it being true? Because I didn't expect us to be ragdolled again, Lou. And I think not as much as the cup final and everything else. I don't know. What's your opinion on it?
Well, I said before the match, I did like a prediction thing. And I said the issue is we can't go through the middle because you're never going to beat Tonali and Guimaraes and Joel Linton through you're not going to outwork them. This isn't a Jurgen Klopp midfield where you've got like presses like Henderson and Wijnaldum and like people of that ilk. You're never going to outwork Newcastle's midfield. And like we saw at the cup final, we ended up going route 1, put it over the top. But the issue is you've got Dan Burn, who's this massive lump at the back, who's going to win every single ball in the air.
He was a criminal. He's a criminal. Like he should have been done. He should have got arrested after the game for assault. He was going around assaulting people.
He has no right to be that good. He's got no right to be as talented as he is in that style of play. Like, I get he's a big bastard, fine. I completely understand that. But the game plan worked. It might not have been the most pretty. Like, it might not have been the best majestic style of football you've ever seen, but it worked. He nullified our midfield. Wirtz couldn't get any space to work with. Every pass was either going backwards or sideways, or we'd lump it long, get cleared by Burn. And the game plan worked for Newcastle. At the end of the day, people will say, oh, well, they only have 3 shots on target. They scored 2 goals off it. That's the issue. It's not so much that their game plan was faultless. It was that defensively, we were physically weak. We were poor. Kerkez got bullied. Canate turned like a double-decker with Gemma Collins on it. There was honestly, there was just nothing there from us. And I think at times, as much as people will say, well, Newcastle didn't have Isak, they didn't have 10 men. It's St. James's Park, regardless of the situation. We struggled there against Steve Bruce at times. We struggled there against Steve McLaren. Like, it doesn't matter how good or bad they are or how good or bad we are. They can get a result there. So the fact that we've done it, playing into their style of play, struggling in the manner in which we did, and we still got the 3 points. I'm not justifying the performance, but for that moment, that individual moment, it's immense. And it's such a big springboard for what comes next. I'm worried, but I'm still looking at the positives from it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Welshmo. I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, there is causes for concern, but it is only the second game of the season. Literally, how many years of football have we watched between us? And we know that very rarely does the winning team of the final winners of the Premier League have an amazing start and continue throughout the season. There's always one pace setter, and then usually they fall away. So I don't know how to feel. There is massive rooms of improvement, but like Lou says, you go away to Newcastle, especially the atmosphere they had created on and off the pitch. You take the 3 points, and you say, "Thank you, Lord," and you keep it moving. Is that how you're looking at it, or are you more concerned, or are you taking the more positive side of it?
I'm taking a balanced view on it, and allow me to explain. It's only the second game of the season. Fine. Yes, there's obvious, cracks in the system if the right players are not there. Now, to counter argument, people saying we got caught, on transition on the counter a couple of times, which is true, but less when Gravenberch was there compared to the first game.
Yeah.
Okay? And so that's a system style change there. Second counter argument is, where do we concede our 2 goals from? It was set pieces. It wasn't through transition. It was 2 set pieces. It was one long ball, which Ibu got out-muscled and bullied, and Gravenberch failed to pick up the runner. And the second one was from a long throw-in, wasn't it? So it wasn't in transition.
Second one was a long punt. We'll get into the goals,
yeah, but it wasn't from a counter transition, which was our downfall against Bournemouth. So there's we have to look at a balanced view, and there's also 2 positive things as well, and one more negative. Like, look, I think Leon's made a couple of comments in the comments, and I agree. We play at the back, a couple of passes, and we lump it long. Reason being is, I think McAllister and Grav are the only 2 that can play that ball through the middle, through the lines. I don't think Curtis Jones has got the confidence to play that ball into Wirtz. And that's why Wirtz looks a bit drained at the moment of service, because he's in pockets of space, Wirtz. He's in loads of space. But to get to him, you've got to play those balls through the line. And I think only McAllister and sometimes Grav have the capabilities to do that in our squad. So that will happen. We'll see Wirtz pick up the ball more. We'll see more when Max in the team. I'm certain of that. Now, the good thing is, the last goal, that slot ball for you. Every player had a touch on the ball before we scored. Every player. We built it patiently. We did triangle football. We did Chiesa brought the defender back out of space, which created a space, for Rio. And Don made the best assist in the game, even though he didn't touch the ball. And that's slot football when it happens. When it works, that's what we've got a taste of, yeah? We just got to be patient and get the right players and back in the right team. That's what I think, personally.
Mo, is it not worrying though? Like you said, the positive from it is we didn't lose it in transitions. We lost at set pieces. But the next game's Arsenal, who are like the best set piece takers in the league. So isn't that something that's got to be a massive worry going into the next game?
100%. But I also think that players respond to the team they're playing as well. So look, the players know that this is going to be one of our rivals for the title. So this is a team trying to take our title from us. I think naturally when you play against those big 6, players sometimes give that extra 10%. They know what's on the line, and I like to think and I hope that we'll see a tighter game from our perspective on and more control from us. And look, it's the best litmus test because, like you said, Arsenal are brilliant in transition. Arsenal have got pace now. Arsenal have got one of the best defense, if not the best defense, and backup in the league. So it's going to be a hell of a test. And they're wicked at set pieces, and we're shite at set pieces. So look, everything's in their favour. So this is a great test to see how if the system works or how far or what do we need to change.
Leon makes a very good point, or a couple of good points. He says Robertson got 6 months to bed in, guys. We forget that. Kirkers has been thrown in straight at the deep end. We're doing great. 2 good teams we've beaten, 7 goals scored. Yeah, but you failed to mention the 4 conceded as well. But listen, I get it. The positives, you move with them. It's early doors. Luke makes a good point as well. He says you couldn't have chosen 2 more intense fixtures to start the season. Well, you could have. You could have had Arsenal away as well, whatever. But I get your point. I will 6 points all day. Take 6 points all day. And the message of the day goes to Jill. Says
Is that your man?
Who have you paid to send in a chat?
You lot don't need to worry. Because even if you paid people won't say that about you lot. But anyway, so Scousemo. Lineup was expected, right? Obviously, McAllister, some rumors about his wife expected, but I think the official club line was a slight minor injury. Slightly worrying that he's still not 100% fully fit. And if that's the case, we'll talk about the selection later on for Arsenal game. Slightly worrying, but good to get Gravenberch back in the team. And he did make a difference, and he scores the opening goal.
I know. Do you know what? One thing I noticed about Gravenberch as well, like how is it just me? Did he look a lot more physical, like in that midfield?
Yeah.
I think he's been asked to. I genuinely believe he's been told, "Oi, skinny shit, get in the gym,
bro." He looks hench. I can't even lie. Like he literally, he looks like he's bulked on, and he's just looking wham in that midfield. I'm thinking, yeah. Okay, and you can see the difference he makes instantaneossly, to be honest. I think when you come to the lineup, I think it was the lineup that we expected. Obviously, when we hit the news that McAllister wasn't available, you're going to expect... to be honest, there was a question mark whether Curtis Jones could play right back.
That's it. So that's the talking point of the lineup.
Said it in...
What do you think? Be honest.
Nah, but like Slot's so honest, and he said it on Monday Night Football before the match kicked off. He was like, "Yo, Szoboszlai's playing right back." He just clear cut with it. And I can't lie, I think Szoboszlai did really, really well. He performed really well at right back. Like I wasn't expecting him to be that good, to be honest with you. And I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again: is Szoboszlai one of our most important players? And when our team's fully fit, where does he actually slot in? Because he is quite vital to this team, but I'm sure we'll get into like individual performances in more depth. But yeah, what more can you say about the game? I think Mo and Lou did amazing. Like they've analysed that so perfectly. Like what more is there for me to add? Like there's some positives that we can take, and there's some negatives that we can definitely take as well. I take Mo's points on like obviously last week we conceded 2 from transition, and this week 2 from set pieces. My only concern with that would be like we've seen the worst of both worlds in a way. Like 2 transitions last week, and this week 2 set pieces. So are we vulnerable in both aspects? Because that's a bit of a concern. Hopefully not. It's a huge litmus test against Arsenal, obviously title contenders. But honestly, I think our first 3 games of the season, I don't think many people talk about how difficult the first 3 games are. Like Bournemouth, like the Bournemouth that we've seen last year with Iriola, they're the most high intensity, non-stop, like literally 99 stamina team that you'll probably come against in the Prem. Like it's mental, and that was our first game of the season. And then you got Newcastle at St. James's Park, which is like, you know, traditionally one of the hardest stadiums you can go to. But then you add into that like the saga that's going on with Isak. It just made it like 10 times worse. And part of me was thinking before that game kicked off, I wish this game was at 12:30 on a Saturday. I can't even lie. It had to be 8 p.m. on a Monday. Like it's probably the worst. And another observation before I go back to you guys is watching that game yesterday. I don't know why, because it's a player that I've criticized a lot, Grizz, and you know I've criticized them a lot. But I felt like that game was calling out for like a Diaz, you know, like somebody who could just pick up the ball and carry it. Honestly, like when we had it in certain positions, just carry it and go. And I don't think there's many players in our squad who have that ability at the moment. And
we'll get on to the guy who did actually come on and play like Diaz and actually
play like Diaz.
But I guess we stick with the game plan. And then the game for a few minutes, Lewis, and Gravenberch scores the winner, the opening goal, I should say. And it's the only time I think from that goal to about 10 minutes into the second half where we score the second goal. I think that's the only period that I felt comfortable and in control.
Yeah.
And that's 90 or 100 minutes of football, or so-called football. Slot said that was in football. 100 minutes, and I only remember being in control and calm for about 10, 15 minutes. It's just not good enough, is it? Where is it emanating from, in your opinion? What is it? Is it the disjointedness of the back four, new players settling in, new players up front, and then trying to play I don't know what you guys think. Is it a different formation we're trying to play now with Wirtz as an out-and-out 10, and we've never played with an out-and-out 10? Is it just teething problems?
I think it's all of it. Like, Vert at points was covering at right back, and at points he was on the left wing. He's all over that pitch. I think Kirkes had a stinker that didn't help. Like, just to say how it is, he had a really, really bad game, and it didn't help us. We've got a makeshift midfielder at right back. Sorry, a makeshift right back who's a midfielder. We're relying on, Ekitike, who's only just got into this team really to drive our attack forward. And he's having to come so deep just to start things off. Like the second goal, his goal starts because he tracks back and builds it up. So we're relying on him massively, and that shows when he goes off the pitch how much we lack that attack and impetus up top. But one player who I don't think got a lot of credit, and I really think a lot of people will maybe critique me, Curtis Jones, man. In that environment, in that kind of atmosphere where everyone wants it to be intense from a Newcastle perspective, they want to press, they want us to try and press, they want space to open up. You need that player who can pick up the ball and just say, right, slow it down, short pass backwards, control play, let's just take the sting out of it. That's why Jordan Henderson was so good for a long period of time, because he did exactly that. He dictated the way the game went. Having a Jones there to do that was vital when things started to really get going. And I agree with you. We didn't really show much control. We struggled physically, Konate, Kirkes. But the fact that we were able to grind that out because we had players like that is a massive positive. I think it will take time for everyone to bed in. I think Salah's looked pretty poor, but he's still getting like a goal and an assist. Ekitike is such a vital part. We need rotation options around him, which I'm sure we'll touch on at some point. But as great as this window's been, it has exposed further deeper issues in this squad. And I think they're things that we're looking at now and saying, right, we need a Guehi, we need an Isak. There are teething issues, there are depth problems, there are style of play problems. But if we've shown anything so far under Slot, it's that whenever there's a problem, we find a way to get around it. So I think this Arsenal game, going into it, we just need to keep positivity and then just sort of reset following the international break.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It will give us a chance to reset. That's how vital when we go into this Arsenal game. And we're going to the Arsenal game, but we'll continue, Mo, and 2-0 up after literally 30 seconds of the second half. I think this finish from Ekitike, guys, will be his trademark finish. I think we will see a lot of side foot a la Trezeguet type finishes. Trezeguet was the king of the side foot finish. And the amount of power that he's able to produce as well with a short backlift. I think this guy has already surprised a lot of people, and I think he will continue to surprise a lot of people. What a start to the second half.
Well, it was brilliant. Slot missed the goal, didn't he? He was too late coming out, and he missed the goal. I'm one to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm one to put my hand up.
Oh, really? That's
yeah. And I don't want to throw Darwin Núñez under the bus here whatsoever. I was a big Darwin fan, and I didn't want Darwin to go. Okay. Hold my hand up. There's no way Darwin's scoring from that position. No way at all. Okay.
No.
And
any of the goals. By the way, any of the goals.
Yeah, any of the goals.
As hard as he can, straight at the keeper.
I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah. No, Mo. Both Mo's. I know you Núñez lovers. No, sorry.
No, but I'm admitting my mistake. I'm admitting my mistake, and that's the exciting thing about it. For me, that's the most exciting thing about it. Those chances which were missed. We got someone who's clinical now, and who's not afraid to pull the trigger when he sees that gap. Knowing he's got that accuracy, and that's the exciting thing about it. And if we add to that rotation option, then yeah, going forward, I think we'll be fine. It's that, the back end of the pitch we probably may need to sort out. But Ekitike, what a start. 3-3. I think everyone can see what he can bring to the team. He can link up play. My only concern, and this is again comes with time, is he drops into the spaces sometimes that Wirtz occupies. And him and Wirtz need to get that understanding. Who drops where to go into space, who drops deep. And that will come with time. They haven't played with each other, and they haven't played in the system. And that's my only concern, But look, what promising signs. What a finisher, what a baller, and it's exciting.
Sink sends in a super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. He says, an inability to pin teams in like an Arsenal hurts you guys, in my opinion. And an inability to build up an aggressive man-to-man press. Right. Yeah. More emphasis on Konate's passing in first phase due to absence of Trent is a hindrance. Yeah, look, thank you for the super chat. And that is a massive hindrance, isn't it, Mo? Come to Scouse, Mo. Our build-up play Obviously, again, the obvious things are teething and it's going to working out how to progress without Trent was always going to be a mission in itself. But we're coming to terms with it. And then you have to, basically, guys, we haven't had our two best playmakers in McAllister and Trent. So let's just calm down a bit with the structure talk and with the progression talk, because that will come, A, with rhythm, B, with more understanding of your new teammates. I agree. I think Mo makes a good point about the Verts and Ekitike positions. 2-0 up, we still lack control. A lot of criticism, and we're going to get it. Listen, we give it out, we have to be able to take it. Verts, doesn't matter what he's done, and I said it to you guys. Do you remember in the show when you lot were like, "Oh, calm down, Grizz"? I said he can be the world class. He can be the best player in the world at his previous club. He has to do it at Liverpool for me to love him. But he's getting big criticism, and he's gonna get it because it comes with the territory. What's the situation? What's your thoughts? What's your thought pattern around the Verts contribution performances so far?
With Fitz, well, obviously the first two games haven't been the best. Like it's quite clear to see, and I 100% agree with the point that you just made there. Like it doesn't matter what you've done in the past; it matters more what you've done in the Liverpool shirt. But I am not worried one bit because I know he is an absolute superstar and he will come good eventually. It's the first two games in, and as I mentioned earlier, probably two of the hardest games you could probably play with Bournemouth, who are just going to be buzzing around you constantly, non-stop, not giving you a second to breathe on the ball. And then Newcastle at St. Jesus Park with those basically pit bulls in midfield. It's insane, to be honest, the pressure that and the intensity that you're going to be playing against for those two teams. I think he will come good. There's no need to be worried about that. Eventually he will. I can't believe are they 2-0 up?
They're 2-0 down. Grimsby are 2-0 up. I never a Nana Klanger. Oh my god!
And Nana Klanger again too.
He's just dropped it square on the floor and just completely flipped it.
It's just beautiful.
Imagine having to qualify for the. Sorry to interrupt, Mo. Imagine having to qualify for the third round of the Carabao Cup.
Boys, it used to be us once upon a time, can't lie. And
but,
Newcastle game, I didn't even know. I'm going a bit of a tangent, but the Newcastle game I was watching with loads of United fans, weirdly. But then an advert came up about Grimsby versus Man United, and I just looked at them and go, "You just have to qualify for the League Cup." Oh, you
such a bad mistake.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but like going back to the Vert, don't worry about Vert. He'll come good. He's going to be our superstar. The connections are going to work, and I can't wait until like McAllister's back into the team with Gravenberch, because we haven't seen that partnership since we beat Tottenham to win the Premier League, and we haven't seen that partnership. So when we've got McAllister, Gravenberch, and Vert together, for me, that is just it's going to be magical, and we're going to see great improvements. On the flip side, I think we've already seen a bit of a relationship between Ekitike and Gakpo. I feel like they interchange quite well already, so that is quite promising. I think the Vert, Ekitike, Gakpo little triangle will come eventually, but the one concern that I have is we're going back to Kerkez. I think I've voiced it to you guys already, that I've had my concerns about us signing Kerkez long before like we signed them, like maybe back in like January times. I've always been screaming for Ain't Nori. Like, I really do rate Ain't Nori, but when we signed Kerkez, I was like, okay, cool, let's get him. One of the things that I've always noticed about him, whenever I've seen him play, is he's quite aggressive, he's rash, and he goes into challenges defensively. But one of his main attributes and best attributes is offensively, how he just bombs up and down. And that's what he did at Bournemouth. And right now, I can't lie to you boys, and I don't know whether you agree, I am very concerned with the setup that Kerkez has at Liverpool. Yeah. It's almost as if though he's like a third left back.
He gets inverted as a third centre back.
Yeah.
And that does not suit his game one bit. Like his game, the reason why he was so good for Bournemouth last season was flying up and down that left flank, whipping in crosses continuously with his energy. That's what the Kerkez that we've seen. Defensively, he's always had question marks, but he's young. He can grow out of that, and eventually maybe he can become a beast defensively. That's why I thought, okay, cool, maybe we can work on that. But I never expected him to be in this role, and I'm not comfortable with that one bit. And I feel like that is having an impact on our, not just him, but also the way that we play in terms of building up the play from the back. When Kerkez gets the ball, I think he's very hesitant. He doesn't look for the pass that's supposed to go inside. He always takes a little bit more time. He comes back towards Veg. I'm not comfortable with Kerkez's position in this.
It says so much that the match started with them targeting Szoboszlai and eventually shifted over to Kerkez. Like, it says so much that he's the better target than a makeshift right back at the time.
It is, but like defensively, I think we've always. I think you guys are a lot more intelligent than me. You're probably aware. You're probably aware about his defensive inabilities already. But he's young; he can grow out of it. That's fine. But the one thing that I thought we were signing this guy for was 18-19 Robertson, who's going to be up and down that flank and whipping in balls. The Kerkez that we're seeing right now, who's basically a third choice, a third centre back. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense.
I agree. It's not his game.
It's not his game, and I don't know what we're cooking.
I understand, and you're right. You make a good point. I mean, I don't know what it's based on. Maybe it's away games, just to keep the solidity away from home in his atmosphere like that. I don't know. Maybe it's Szoboszlai on the other side.
Sorry, I think against Newcastle the other day, weirdly enough, I think he was good. I can't lie. Apart from that goal. Obviously, what is he doing with Guimarães?
Oh, he thought he was in the carnival. He was backing up, to someone.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't know what he was doing. I genuinely thought he was in the carnival, backing up the goal.
But it's just a worry because, like you said, I think when he's going forward, he does provide a lot. But it is just physically, he's not able to compete with that type of player. But that's not something you can coach. Yeah. That's just something you've got to physically develop, and it might worry.
That's a physical situation where you have to, whether you can compete with him or not, you've got to make yourself a nuisance. You've got to put him off.
Yeah.
That's the worst kind of situation to find yourself in.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you.
So many people were comparing him to John Arnorisa when he got here. And I adore John Arnorisa so much, and I always go on about him. But the difference is he could do what people want Kerkez to do, but physically he was so he would get right stuck in and he would be up for it. If that's him on that back post against Guimarães, not a chance is he ending up in the same position that Kerkez did, bending over, giving it up. He'd be completely in the air trying to win that ball back. And I agree with Matt. I think that's exactly what Kerkez lacks at this moment in time.
And I don't see how we're going to the setup in terms of, I can understand it when Frimpong, for example, is on the pitch. We probably want Frimpong to be overlapping and underlapping in an offensive sense. But I thought going into this season, it was going to be, maybe because we haven't seen Gravenberch on the pitch with Frimpong and Kerkez, our first two full-time fullbacks on the pitch. Because maybe when Gravenberch is back, maybe he can be that auxiliary extra centre-back, and then the two flying fullbacks can go up and down. And I hope and pray that is the plan. But if the plan is for Kerkez to be this third centre-back, I am not comfortable with that at all. I wasn't comfortable if Robertson's doing it as well. Bear in mind, I'm not comfortable with either of them. If we wanted to do that, maybe it makes sense to sign Mark Guehi and make him and play him in that position. But I don't want to see Kerkez doing that. I'm just not comfortable with it at all.
Talking about comfortability, 2-1. And you think to yourself, and I was still not panicked. I thought, okay, they've scored from a set piece, a long throw in. Fair enough. But now let's relax the ball and pick them off. They can't keep up this energy, especially with 10 men. You could see them tiring, stroke injuries and everything else. And the intensity was dying down. But I think their game plan, and I stick with you, Lewis, and the game plan was, I think, at that stage to stay in the game, and then bombard us with long balls and throw-ins. And it was actually a goal kick, I believe, straight down the middle, Sunday League style. Dan Burn again, that fella, gets to the ball. And the old school way of playing football is get it from A to B to C. And it worked, and it infuriated me at how easy that goal was allowed to in. And I guess it comes to Ibu, and I don't like criticizing Ibu because I love him so much, but you have to call a spade a spade. He looks like a competition winner out there. What's going on? How do we fix and resolve this? Is it just differences in personnel, like Szoboszlai playing right back, a new left back? What's going on?
I honestly, I couldn't. I could speculate and be like, oh, it's the Madrid links, it's the contract. He's just been shit. It's as simple as that. He's just been slow on the turn, weak in the air, and At Bournemouth, I thought he started off really poor and he did slowly start to grow into it a little bit. He was culpable for moments, but he got dragged out of position because Frimpong was bombing forward. He had to go off quite handy. We ended up with Endo at right back, Gomez at right back, and he was trying to cover for them. So, I can excuse that. But regardless of how big Dan Burn is and how physical he is, it's Ibrahima Konate. Jump. Make it take him down if you've got to. Just physically impose yourself. Don't just let him go over you and not even get a touch of the ball. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because he's got a more sort of senior role in that back line, so to speak. There's not a Trent who's been there for years. It's not Robertson on the opposite flank or Simicast. It's a young 21-year-old Kirkes, a makeshift right back into Bosley. Maybe it's because he had to accommodate for that. I don't know, but this needs sorting. Whether it's a transfer, whether it's someone else coming in for him who we've already got, whether it's just he needs to be smacked on the head and say, right, you need to sort this out because it can't carry on like that. It's one thing getting away with it in Newcastle. You're not going to get away with that at Arsenal or City or Chelsea the way they're going at the minute. That's got to be addressed. And he's not lost his physicality. It just looks like he can't be arsed. And I don't know what that is. It may be the contract thing. It may just be the way Slot's utilising him. It may Van Dijk should not be having to make as many clearances and as many aerial duels as he is. That's him accommodating for the lack of it coming from Konate. And it's a worrying sign going forward when the next team you're playing is an Arsenal that have just scored 5 goals, beat United the week before despite getting smashed and haven't conceded a single goal. So he needs to sort it out ASAP. Or, and I know I'm touching on a broken record here, get Guehi in ASAP. One or the other needs doing.
Sink sends in a super chat before we have a little bit of a chat around our defense and probably Konate. He says Slot wanted Kirkes for his underlapping runs and his tenacity. He offers exactly what Slot wants. His issue is he can be over exuberant. Yeah, we wouldn't disagree with that. Bit of Konate chat, Mo. Both of you. Yeah, what's the situation? How do we feel about it? Is it a form thing? Maybe we're overblowing it. It's just a form thing. Or does it look set in stone? Or does it look he's distracted or mind elsewhere? Or is it he's missing Trent? You got to remember, he had an understanding, regularity playing with him. What is it? I mean, it's got to be fixed. Even Virgil looks frustrated at times.
I've got 2 points to look at it, 2 ways to look at it. Okay, from a fan's perspective, he's been shit. Okay, and there's no denying it. It's not the Ibu we're used to. Ibu we're used to is, steaming into tackles, loving a fight. With a he'll pick a fight with a striker. As in to go 1-on-1, as in I know I can outmuscle you. I know I'm stronger than you, kind of thing. But the last 2 games, he just looks way off the pace. He hasn't got that hunger in him. And from a fan's perspective, he looks shit. Everyone's saying, no, drop him, and X, Y, and Z. Okay, let's look at it from a player's perspective. And just touching up on Lewis said, I genuinely think it is the contract that's messing with his head. Think about it. You're a professional footballer. You've got 12 months left in your contract. If you pick up an injury, like a very bad injury in your next game, yes, you're secured for the next 12 months, but what about after? I think mindset-wise, from players' perspective, if they have that security of a 3-4 years, they're going to get paid, insurances and all that. Yeah, they're going to give it their all. They're going to dive into challenges. They're going to blood fire, I just think part of it could be the contract situation and the impasse of that and him not having any security and probably him thinking, what do I do? Do I go, if there's rumors to be true, do I go to Real Madrid in a World Cup year or do I stay here playing with 1 year left of my contract, trying to get into this French team for World Cup and not having that security? It is a gamble from a player's perspective. So we have to be kind of level-headed in a way. But from a fan's perspective, I don't think we should sell him. I think we give it until January. If we can't sign him up to another contract, then, yeah, let's revisit it in January. But yes, not to repeat a broken record, get Guehi. Let's future plan. And that's future planning for both. That's even if Konate goes or it's future planning for VVD in a couple of years' time. So that's my kind of, I can't believe I'm saying it, a level-headed view on it.
I need some. Well, I don't know. Say, hey, how you feel, Mo? Scouts,
there, I'll take your points there in regards to maybe he's focused too much of his contract. But I can't lie. I've watched the last 3 Crystal Palace games. Obviously, the Community Shield against us, the Chelsea game, and then the other day against Nottingham Forest. And I can't lie. Every time I watch them, Guehi's putting his body on the line. He's there. He's winning challenges. He's up for the goals. He's not letting, he's not focusing on his current dilemma that he's currently facing, and it's a lot more advanced than Konate's one because he could.
No, that's a great counter argument. I'll hold my hand up.
And I don't see why Konate is not I just don't understand what's going on. The fact that he was getting brushed, Lou's point before about Dan Burn. Dan Burn's an absolute grok. He's huge. Obviously, Konate, you should be dealing with it. You should jump and chime with the header. But he seemed like he was more interested in a little scuffle with Dan Burn. He didn't want to go for the actual ball. That was the weird thing. But the one thing that just raised alarm bells was when he got brushed off the ball by Andy Gordon. I'm thinking,
I forgot about that.
Literally, I was like, what is going on? I was like, this is not the Konate that I remember. But then I started to think, and let's not have short-term memory here, guys. Just the beginning of the last season, when we played Ipswich at home, Konate was on the bench. Slot decided to choose Gerald Quansah in our first team. And in that preseason, in last summer 2024, we were all saying Gerald Quansah should be first in the first team ahead of Konate. And even the season before that, when eventually the wheels fell off and we didn't win the league, but we had a good run in the league with Klopp's last season, Quansah was first choice. And everyone was saying, yo, Quansah, Van Dijk, that's the future. There's a reason why. Because we've seen Konate have these moments in the past. We can't deny that. Last season, he was immense. Last season, he was spectacular. But we have seen moments where Konate is just, I don't know, he just has a bozo moment. He just turns into prime Mamadou Sakho all of a sudden, randomly. And you're just thinking, and you're thinking, what's going on? What's triggered this? And there's no real explanation for it. I think the best way to maybe deal with it is maybe do what we did last year and drop him for a bit and bring him back into the team. And then maybe that would just kick something up his bum, to play better, because that's what the situation was last year. It was Quansah who's first team until Quansah had to get subbed at half-time against Ipswich. Konate came on, and then we didn't look back from that point onwards. Konate was arguably one of the best in the league last season.
Who do you put in for him, though? Because the only option you've got is Leone.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. There's no one challenging his spot, And that's for their spots, we brought in Leone, but Leone's not quite ready yet. Quansah was challenging both their spots last season. And maybe that's why we keep going back to it.
This is my problem in a way. To get to a point, I always go all the way around. So, I'm sorry, guys, but the point I was trying to make was but
you're spot on. You're spot on, I think. I genuinely think you're spot on.
But there's no one to challenge his position. So, listen, against Arsenal, I don't want to start that Leone. I can't
No, not a chance.
There's no way. No. And Joe Gomez, maybe, but maybe not. Konate has to start. But if Konate plays like he did against Newcastle or Bournemouth,
I think Joe Gomez is a shout. Of course, we know the ability is there. It's just literally whether he can last 90 minutes. But let's finish off this 90 minutes or 100 minutes, as the case was. Because at 2-2, Lewis, I'm thinking this hurts like a feet. Of course, if you offered a point at the start of the game, away to Man City, away to Newcastle, in the circumstances, you say, yeah, we take a point out Newcastle. Not many teams will rock up there this season and win. But it felt like a loss. And it felt like we were down to 10 men. They were bombarding us, and I was like, let's shake on 3. Let's shake on a draw now, lads. Let's not totally humiliate ourselves by losing this now as well. And I'm looking at the subs bench, and I'm thinking, substitutes slot, and he hasn't got my...
Oh. Is he frozen?
He's getting too excited over the thought of it. His head's gone.
But yeah, I think he was talking about the sub. So you think of obviously the lack of bench options at the moment, Lou.
Yeah, I mean,
go on, Lou.
I don't know. I am a little bit concerned with Slot's decision making on subs, but I do kind of get it. Did you see the reactions to Engamoa coming on? Everyone was like, "What's Rio going to do? What's he going to do?"
Yeah, Saeed and all that. What's Rio going to do?
Yeah. I agree. When Mo said earlier on about we could have done with a Diaz and someone to run on it, I really wish Engamoa had come on earlier.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
think we need
the first thing
someone-
he did, can you remember the first action he did? His first touch of the ball.
Yeah, he
Picked up
tried
the
to
ball,
beat two people.
He ran straight, ran forward, took on two players, got to the byline, won a corner.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow,
you need
okay,
that.
that's like,
It's
you know,
it's all well and good. People saying, "Oh, but we play a system. Players play a system. People play the same." If it's not working, you need to change it, and that's what we had last season. We had different options. We had different players who could come in and change it. Nunez, as much as we like to give him stick, or apparently you two don't. Like, you know, he gave us options. He was something different. Jota, God bless him, he was such a different option in the air. That's why I've been pushing to sign Mateta, because I think he would give a different, versatile option. Ngamo is the only player in that team, bar Salah maybe, who picks up the ball and his first instinct is just get at them, have a go, like run at them and make space and make something happen. Like, he's just such a special talent. And you go through the list of like the youngest players who have ever scored for us, and you've got like Bajcetic, Jimmy Melia, Jaden Dans, Raheem Sterling, Kejana Hoever, Jordan Rossiter, Michael Owen, Kay Gordon, Ben Woodburn. Ngamoa just feels so special. He doesn't feel like the sort of the Kejana Hoever, the Jordan Rossiter. He feels more on that Michael Owen ilk. Not to that level yet, of course. Sounds a bit ridiculous, but he just looks incredible. And there's something about him where he's making the senior players around him look average by comparison. He's made, like, even in preseason, he was making Salah look average. He was making Ekitike look average and Gakpo. There's something about him. And I love the fact that he's so confident in himself. And that's why, while most people in that situation would have skied that ball or not had the confidence to get at them and actually make things happen, he got stuck in, and I want to see that from young people. I want to see imagination and creativity to get into space and say, you know what, F this, I'm going for it. Why not? It's being coached too much out of football nowadays, individuality, and I don't like to see it.
100%. Hopefully I'm back. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, you could see where the conversation was leading to, and the professionals that you guys are, except Mo. I'm sure you carried on the conversation. I'm sure you carried on the conversation. Mo, I'm going to come to you and continue with this chat about this prodigy, this kid. He's sensational. He's lively. He's quick-footed. He's energetic, and he can finish. There was comparisons about Raheem Sterling, and I get it. I think this guy's far more, as the kids would say, techie than Sterling. And one thing he's got more than Raheem Sterling, and I tell you now, and I've said it forever and ever and ever, he can strike the ball cleanly. Raheem Sterling could never strike the ball cleanly.
Well, that finish was a finish of a kid who plays with no pressure, because he doesn't know what pressure is right now. You know, that was a training ground finish. And I think in the interview afterwards, he actually said, "Oh, I've done that 100 times in training." You know, the ball was coming to him at a reasonable pace. It wasn't coming to him slow. It was a reasonable pace coming to him. He was running in an angle. It was perfectly timed. Everything was in one motion. He didn't even, I think after the game, Slot said, or someone in the dressing room said, "Oh, I would have taken a touch." I'm guessing that would have been Curtis Jones. He hit it first time, like, and it was hit with such a plumb and such confidence. And he hit it in the corner of the goal as well, like. And I was like, wow. Like I said, that was a kid who thought, "Oh, I'm just playing in the park right now, or I'm playing against, training." I don't think he doesn't understand what pressure is. It'll come to him, that will come with age, and pressure he'll learn what pressure is. But for now, it was pure joy that was for him, and he was so confident in striking that ball. But we have to be careful, and the comparison I'm going to give is the Saka comparison, and the Sterling even is, we can't expect too much from him. He's 16 now. By the time Saka was like 21 or 22, he's played like 200 games. Now, if you look at Saka now, he picks up a lot of injuries. He's picked up another injury again. Raheem Sterling, his career was probably done by the age he was 27, 26, because he was just overplayed. So we need to be careful with him. We can't expect too much of him. Give him the odd 10, 15 minutes, yes. Calling for starts, no, I don't think he's ready for that. Let's just...
Sorry, man. Just sorry to interrupt really quick. Is there an argument to be made to that, of the case of, but with Owen, the reason he got burnt out so quick is because there was no one to sort of
manage it,
fill that role. Fill that role when he went out the team, because you had like Karl-Heinz Ried, or you had Emil Heskey, you had all these players who couldn't match his level, whereas Ngamoa has Gakpo, you've got Wirtz who can go out there. Like he's got rotation options, so to speak.
No, I agree. And back then we didn't have that all this sports science and technology to monitor players' health and things like that. So we've advanced since those days, since the Michael Owens days. But yeah, definitely we've got enough players there to rotate. I'm not saying he's going to start 20 games a season. I'd love to see him come on 20 games a season, last 10, 15 minutes, but I'm not expecting him to be a starter yet. Okay. I just think give him this learning curve, let him excite us, for this year, and let him kick on when the club will know when he's ready. And I just hope the club will manage him properly. That's all.
Such big up Arsenal fan says, big up Jensen. Chat, hit the likes and subscribe. All I ask is to take it easy on this weekend. Don't completely dismantle us. Brother, we could say the same. Your favourites going into this game. I don't know what you're talking about. So please take your responsibilities. Own it. You're far better squad than us. You're a deeper squad. We're a new team. You've been on the upward trajectory for 6 seasons, is it now? Come on, brother. Handle your business. Don't worry about us. Rio, Scousemo. It's difficult to just hold it down and just give him time. Like the more he shows. And we talk about wonder kids all over Europe, guys. We're talking about Yamal. We're talking about the Pedris and the Gavis and whoever else you want to talk about. The Arda Gulers of Real Madrid. Guys, we've got one of our own. I'm not going to under-exaggerate. I'm not. I think we've got a wonder kid on our hands. And I agree with everything that you've said, guys. The rest of you guys is all about sort of nurturing him and everything else. When it gets to a point where you can't resist anymore, like, what do you do?
If you're good enough, you're old enough, isn't it? Really. And I think Lou's point is very evident there when he said we're not relying on him to be in the first 11 right now. There's at least 4 players that can play in that position realistically before him.
Well, the way things are going after Gakpo's performance, there may be calls for him to start. Like Gakpo had a stinker as well, by the way, and I'm a Gakpo.
Gakpo had a stinker, but Salah also had the stinker. But Gakpo got 2 assists for us. He got 2 assists.
Gakpo got 2 assists, and Salah got 1 assist.
Exactly. Provide that input. They're still going to be switched on in the vital moments, even though they didn't have the best performance. I think going back to Rio, it's just unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. We do have a wonder kid on our hands. I completely agree with Welsh Mo's points in regards to making sure that we're careful with them or don't rush them. But when you see the talent, the goal that finish, unbelievable. Genuinely, it's unbelievable. 16 years old in the 99th minute at St. James's Park in your Premier League debut for Liverpool Football Club. You've got the calmness to just stroke that ball in the back of the net. It's just, it's unbelievable. Honestly, what more can you say? It's unbelievable. But I think I'm surprised that we haven't talked about a certain person. It's been 53 minutes. So shame on every single one of you. Virgil van Dijk.
I mentioned him before.
How have we not had a good 3 hour sessions on just Virgil van Dijk? Genuinely.
Well, he's just I've run out of superlatives for him. 34 years old, and he was by far the best player on the pitch yesterday. With Dom, I think, as well. He won everything. He had to mop up after Konate. He actually picked himself up after getting a bear scratch from bloody Gordon. Literally looked like a bear had scratched his calf off.
Do you want to know something about Van Dijk really quick? So he's played 2 games, hasn't he? He's made 30 clearances and won 20 duels in those 2 matches.
And then there's weirdos out there that say, Virgil wouldn't be able to play in the 2000s and he'll get bullied by a UQB. Shut up, you weird person. He is undoubtedly, without a shadow of a doubt, the best centre-back to ever grace a football pitch, in my eyes, from what I've seen in my lifetime. And I've been watching football for almost 30 years. I've been watching football for a very long time. He is just unbelievable. And it's not just the way he wins headers. He doesn't go up and just win the header. He passes them.
Yeah.
How are you going up for the header? There's 3-4 people surrounding you. And you've got the calmness to just guide the header directly in the perfect position. But it's not something rare. We've been seeing this now consistently for the last 8 years. Non-stop, every single week, we see this kind of performance from Virgil that we're at the point where it's just, it's
normal. He's normalizing classical old school mixed with the modern day version of reading the game, being composed on the ball. He pretty much has it all. I was a little bit annoyed that he was the only one. And I know some people talk about sportsmanship and being humble, and I just think we're not nasty enough in people's referees' faces. Like Newcastle bullied the referee, intimidated the referee. We had only Virgil who was trying it. Everyone else is quiet and just doing their thing. Shut up. Get in the referee's face and moan and complain like Neville and Beckham and Keane used to, and John Terry used to. Guys, we're way too nice and passive. Way too nice. Look what Newcastle were getting every single decision go their way. But look, we won the game 3-2. And I've deliberately left 5 minutes for transfer chat because that's literally how much of the transfer window is left. 5 minutes of the transfer window is left. Eventually, we will know in 3 or 4 days what the makeup of our squad will be moving forward. I think we're all unanimous in thinking Isak and Guehi is an absolute bare minimum necessity. Has anyone changed any mind? Is anyone panicked? Is anyone worried?
No,
I'm nervous a bit about Isak as time's going on, I won't lie. Just because Strand Larsen doesn't look like he's going to Newcastle, and I think they are going to get to a point where they go, look, no one's coming in. Just sack it off for 6 months or so and just sell him in January or something.
So I happen to be DM friends with Yana Gafyotov, the ex-Middlesbrough player, and he insists that that deal will go through. So he thinks Strand Larsen to Newcastle will go through. He thinks, and I think Vissa will definitely get done from Brentford. So I'm very, very positive, and I think that will get over the line. And I also think Mark Guehi will be wrapped up straight after the Palace game. I don't want to go about it because there's nothing else to speak on. Everything has gone radio silence, and I think there's a reason why it's gone radio silence. It's literally a patience game. I know it's the hardest thing to do, especially when there's literally 4, 5, 6 days left of the transfer window. But the good consolation is there's literally 4 or 5 days off. You don't have to stress about it after that. Back to normal football chat on a weekly basis, lineups, tactics, action. Who's going to start? Who's going to be dropped? None of this. Does anyone know where Guehi is? Like, we have some FBI. We know where Guehi is. Where's Isak? Anyway, and I'm not even going to get your opinions on it, guys. We know what all our opinions and thoughts and fears are, maybe, and trepidation. I get it, and doubts and everything else. Whatever will be, will be. But I'm firmly of the belief we'll have Mark Guehi and Alexander Isak in our squad. The crucial part is the third option of a winger stroke attacker that we need. I've got my doubts about that. I hope I'm wrong.
Can I just say, like, I can't lie. Before this is why you're the GOAT, Grizz. I can't lie. This is why you're the GOAT. Like, literally 2 minutes ago, I was worried, and I was thinking, I don't think we're going to get either of them. But from your little speech there, I'm worried. I'm calm now. I feel like I'm a little bit impatient with this kind of stuff. Of
course, we all are. We all are.
Yeah.
As well, I can't lie to you. I don't know if you guys are as well. Like this constant war is like this. I'll get that. I'm just like
I'm bored of it.
I'm bored of it. Bored of it.
Hopefully, we do get them signed. If we can talk, I can't wait to talk about tactics in the actual match because that's what I enjoy the most. I enjoy watching the Reds.
Exactly. And after Monday, that's all we're going to talk about.
We're going to play a game against Arsenal, and I just wanted to throw a little something out there for you guys and your thoughts are. In my personal opinion, I think for Sunday, one of the touching about Rio earlier on, like we didn't have much options off the bench. We're playing the 16-year-old.
I know what you're going to say.
My opinion for this game on Sunday, if I could make a lineup, is to play Wirtz left wing and put Gakpo on the bench. Not dropping Gakpo, but having Gakpo as an option off the bench because we need to get off the bench for Arsenal. And I think having the 3 midfielders who can compete against, most likely, I think Moreno will probably start with Rice and Zubimendi if Odegaard's out. I don't think they will start with Eze. I think it'll be Moreno, Rice, Zubimendi. If it's them three and it's against... I think we have to play Szoboszlai in the cam role with Curtis Jones and Gravenberch. Play midfield free and let's go intensity for intensity. Let's go physicality for physicality. Let's try and win that midfield battle and have Wirtz cutting in from the left-hand side, in my personal opinion. And I don't think it's just for this Arsenal game. I think for most big games, I want to see Wirtz from that left-hand side. That's where we fit in Szoboszlai. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
So I'm going to go very quickly. You ain't dropping my Dutch clutch.
No, not dropping. It's not dropping.
But essentially, you're not starting him. You're giving him the last half an hour as an option off the bench.
Yes.
The Dutch clutch gets so many important vital goals. He had a stinker.
But do you see where I'm coming from with my point, though?
I get where you're coming from, 100%, because of the lack of intensity and physicality in our central three when Wirtz is in there.
But like something to come off the bench to make a difference off the bench.
This is it, though, isn't it? It's literally, I believe, as I said, and I'm not going to go back and harping on about it, but I believe it's the last game where we don't have that option, you know, of an Isak or a Ekitike or a whoever the rotation is. And I get what you're saying. We don't have an option to come off the bench. We have Chiesa. We have Elliot. I mean, Elliot again sped up the play, guys. He's such a great sub. Honestly, it's worth keeping him just for his 20-minute cameos. Now, I know that's not fair on him. He wants more. But again, he sped up the pace, the team. It was his first time pass around the corner that started the move. Chiesa, it was a lovely move, like Mo says. But it's the only football we played in the whole 96 minutes.
Is Dom going to start right back, though? That's the thing.
No.
It'll be Bradley, I think.
Bradley will be back. Yeah, and Gomez will have another week's training.
McAllister, is he back?
Who? McAllister, we don't know yet. Yeah, McAllister, we don't know yet. So press conference tomorrow? Or no, Friday.
Tomorrow,
Friday, yeah.
Friday. So we'll find out about that. But hey, guys, that's another show in the can. Wow, time flies. Unbelievable. People that tuned in for more Isak updates and find out the latest. Up your bollocks, man. Get out of here. Stop it. Everything will pay out. Everything will be fine. Liverpool are involved in a massive, huge encounter this weekend, guys. And hopefully, next week's Red Room, we will all have massive, huge smiles on our faces. Because if we can start off the season 3 out of 3, or 9 points out of 9 points,
great start.
It'll be a very happy Red Room. Thank you, Mose. Thank you, Luz. Thank you, people in the chat. Hope everyone is well and keeping well and stay safe and stay blessed. And we will see you on next week's edition of Red Room. Until then, peace, love, and tranquility to you.